Hello everybody, welcome to Awesome Rossi Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video. I am trying to hit 100k subscribers on this channel by the end of the year, so your subscription would be much appreciated. Also drop a like on this video, it only takes 1 second and it makes a massive difference. Also, for those of you who watch my Dallas Mavericks My NBA series, the next episode, episode 12, going over free agency, which it's the big offseason that I've been hyping up, that will be out tomorrow. I've been moved. By the way, saw a lot of people like confused as to like what, like that I moved because the set looks the same. It's just two walls meeting in a corner. That exists in most houses. So it's not different in the setup. It's just in a different location. These are different walls, but yeah, the setup is in this exact same order. So I don't know why people were confused about that. But point is, 2K series will be back tomorrow. That being said, there are two games that are on the board for this video. I'm going to be doing a video talking about Clippers Warriors that's about to start in a minute here as the second video of the day. Well, actually, it'll technically be tomorrow, at least Eastern Standard Time, but whatever. But Bucks versus Heat and Mavericks versus Hawks. Now, Bucks versus Heat is not over yet. For whatever reason, the pace of Bucks Heat was horrible because the game started at 8 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock now, and it's still not even the fourth quarter. But it's safe to go ahead and close the book on this game because the Heat are currently up by 32 points. Make it 33 now. Thank you for hitting a free throw. And it was pretty evident that the Heat were going to win this game basically by the first quarter. Now, you can't always say that for sure because, like, especially when it's a good NBA team you're facing, like, you have to have a crazy deficit for the game to be over in the first quarter. But the Heat managed to continue the momentum that they had already established in the first quarter, where the Bucks scored only 5 points in the first 9 minutes of the game. And I may or may not title this "The Heat Are Scary" or "The Miami Heat's Defense is Scary," whichever one it is, because their offense was also great. So I'll probably just go with "The Heat Are Scary." Their defense was on another level, and in the offense, it just came easy. People talked a lot about how Kyle Lowry has kind of changed the pace of the Heat. He did that in the preseason, and that was a decent bit established in this game, even though Kyle Lowry did not really have his blueprints on this game, at least in the 3 quarters that I ended up watching. If I look at his stats, at 5 points, 6 assists, 1 for 8 from the field, Kyle Lowry didn't really do that much, and the Heat still dominated offensively. Jimmy Butler was getting to the free throw line like crazy. Bam Adebayo in his mid-range game. Worth mentioning with Bam, I love his mid-range game a lot, and it's very reminiscent of Kevin Garnett and his ability to take like a pull-up mid-range shot as a big man, and the way that he does it. Like, he has the mechanics of a guard shooting a pull-up mid-range shot, but he's a big, and that's very reminiscent of Kevin Garnett. But I don't want him to fall too much into that where he gets like the Anthony Davis syndrome, where it's like sometimes you're just not taking advantage of your size and going to a mid-range shot in a way that can be frustrating. He did have a guard on him. I don't remember who it was specifically at one point in this game, and he took a fadeaway mid-range shot, and it's like, dude, you can easily overpower that guy. But other than that, Tyler Hero off of the bench, a lot of hype for this being his breakout year, as he averaged like 25 in the preseason. 20 points in 19 minutes, as well as 5 assists as we speak. Made a lot of like loose ball recoveries, especially in the first quarter, which really kept the Heat's momentum continuing in the crazy trajectory it was going. Hit a huge three-pointer at the end of the first quarter. It might have been the second quarter. I can't remember. That was like not a half-court shot, but like in between half-court and the three-point line, but he was running, so good control on that one. It was also off of the Max Struss blocked dunk, where Max, in a very limited amount of minutes, really brought a lot to the table because he hit a three-pointer, he got an and one where he missed the free throw, and he got a very, very, very nice block. Max Struss is someone who was with the Bulls last year, and in the limited time I saw him play, he showed some ability as a three-point shooter, and in the preseason, Max Struss showed quite a bit for the Heat. And maybe he's going to end up being a guy who cracks the rotation. Granted, they have Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler, Max, and then they also have Victor Oladipo. So there's like a lot of guards and wing stuff going on, and they might not have enough room for him to really be a rotation guy, but nevertheless, I think he is an NBA player. On the Bucks side of things, while the Heat played some phenomenal defense, and you have to give them the credit for that, at the same time, there's really no excuse for this game going the way it did. Chris Middleton shot horribly. Giannis wasn't really getting to the rim at will, and a couple of pull-up jump shots, and there was one instance where he had Kyle Lowry on him on the switch, and it was like, you should attack that, and then he took a pull-up three. It went in, but like, if you have Kyle Lowry on you and you're Giannis, take it to the basket. Jordan Nwora continuing to do some stuff off of the bench, so his efficiency is not the best. I decided this wasn't worth doing. Also, I have to watch the Warriors Clippers game, so I was like, I can turn the game off at this point. It is now a 37-point game. So yeah, the Heat have this one. Talking about the Hawks versus Mavericks, this one was yet another ugly blowout game. This one was a 26-point win by the Atlanta Hawks. Luka Doncic struggling from the field, and actually in the first half, Luka and Trey were struggling overall. I think they both shot around 30%. Luka had like 7 points at halftime. Kristaps Porzingis had a couple of nice plays, but for the most part did not play well. Tim Hardaway Jr. was fine, but he missed a couple of open threes. Really the only guy who did anything positive. Oh, fucking Dorian Finney-Smith was breaking threes. The only guy who really did anything positive offensively outside of Luka was still a positive, but like barely, especially being that it's Luka. That's shocking. But the only thing that was any kind of saving grace for the Mavericks this game was Jalen Brunson. He went 7 for 13 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3. I believe 2 of those threes were back-to-back assists from Luka. A couple of pull-up mid-range shots, a lot of really nice drives, one of which he protected his body really well against. It was some sort of wing. It was either DeAndre Hunter or Cam Reddish. But yeah, everybody else offensively brought nothing to the table, really. And on the Hawks side of things, their offense wasn't the greatest in the world. Like I said, Trae Young kind of struggled from the field. He shot 37% in this one. He had a little bit of a stretch in the third quarter where his offense started to get going, his scoring, that is. But overall did not play well scoring-wise. His playmaking, though, in the second half was unlocked. He had 3 assists in the first half. He finishes with 14 in this one. John Collins had some good stretches offensively. DeAndre Hunter played fine. Bogey played fine. Clint Capella played fine. Kevin Huerter went on like a quick 6-point run and then didn't do anything for the rest of the game. But once again, there is a spark plug that really ignited the Atlanta Hawks in this game, and that was Cameron Reddish, who in 21 minutes had 20 points, 7 for 15 from the field, 3 for 4 from outside, a couple of transition plays, a lot of attacking the rim, being aggressive, as Stan Van Gundy was saying on the call over and over again. And the thing about being aggressive isn't just necessarily like putting up shots, but also, working to make sure you get the right opportunities for shots. And there's like a difference between being aggressive in a way that results in a lot of bad looks and just selfish basketball, and then there's looking for your shot in doing off-ball stuff and things like that. And Cam Reddish was doing that very well in this game, ran his lanes well on the fast break. Just fantastic stuff from Cam Reddish, and hopefully this is an indicator of a breakout to come, because he was good in this one. He's already a really good defensive player, and even if his like overall offensive game is never really to the potential that it was, if he can just be a good 3-point shooter, Cam Reddish is for sure like a lock, definitely a good NBA player for a long period of time. Just needs that 3-ball to go, just needs the health to give him the consistency to be able to do such a thing. Another thing worth mentioning here, another positive outside of Cam Reddish, is Gorgie Jang, who comes off of the bench for the Hawks. He was really good, hit a big 3-pointer off of he hesitated on it a bit and then took it. He hit a mid-range shot out of the face-up, which I believe is his first basket of the game. Going back to the Mavericks, though, I do want to just say, I'm not going to harp on it too much because I've said it a million times. The Mavericks finished with 87 points in this one. Coincidentally, the game where Luka Doncic shoots 35% from the field, the Mavericks overall struggle offensively. They rely too much on him. Period. There is no basketball team that is going to be successful at the rate that you want this team to be successful when the lone indicator of whether or not you are going to have a good game is if Luka has a good game. That is a serious problem with the Mavericks, and it's what's going to hold them back from even being a good playoff team. I mean, they've given the Clippers a challenge every time, but like for them to be like an actual threat to any kind of contender level team for real, it requires Luka going insane, and he's done that versus the Clippers, but relying upon him to do that all the time is going to A, burn him out, and B, not really get you anywhere in the long term. So they really need to address that. Jalen Brunson, good in this game, and he has moments where he's really good at that kind of stuff, but if you are relying on Jalen Brunson to be the sole secondary shot creator to Luka Doncic, you're going to go nowhere fast, because Jalen is a guy who could probably be like your fourth best shot creator on a contender, but he should not be your second best. Porzingis tried, didn't work out in this game. To give the Hawks a little bit of credit, though, their defense was fantastic in this one. I have a theory at this point where I don't know how much guard defense really matters, and it's a very vague thing, so don't read into it too much. But it really feels like if your team has a good defensive five and a good defensive wing or two, you can kind of figure it out defensively. Of course, if you want to be an elite defensive team, you need more than that. But the Hawks have been a little bit above average defensive team, really, ever since they've had Clint Capella, and DeAndre Hunter has been good. Cam Reddish has been a good perimeter defender. Like, I think if you have small forward and center locked defensively, you have those two really good, you're kind of fine defensively. Like, you can have bad defensive personnel around that, and you can figure it out. So yeah, that's a theory. A game theory. No, stupid joke. End of video. Bye.